Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. Today we're going to do a budget build based on the Ryzen 3200G CPU with 4 cores, 4 threads, 65 watt TDP, and it has the Vega 8 graphic on board the chip as well. It has a base clock of 3.6 gigahertz and it boosts up to 4 gigahertz. I got this used with the Wraith cooler for about 40 bucks. Hence why I'm going with the budget build option. I know it's not quite as powerful as its big brother, the 3400G, but we're going to see how it performs nonetheless. Its onboard Vega 8 graphics chip is roughly equivalent to an NVIDIA GT1300 graphics card. Its L3 has 4 meg of cache shared between all cores. And to pair that, we're going to go with the board, the Asus Prime A520M A2 board, which I featured in my recent unboxing video. If you haven't seen that already, check it out in the link above in the description below. This is a sort of a budget build motherboard as well, and it'll get your feet wet and get you into a little bit better board than you would for the 300 series or the 450 series, since they'll be phasing those out after a while. But it only supports PCI Express 3.0 on this board. But hey, the 3200G only supports that as well. But you got room to upgrade with this board, so that's why I chose it. And it supports the 3000 series Ryzen chips as well. That's another reason why I got this board. And to go with our budget build, I found some cheap Team Group Elite DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. I got 2 8 gig sticks for 16 gig total. We're going to populate that for a dual channel, and we're going to hook up the Cooler Master V550 Gold modular, fully modular power supply to run this. And we're going to put in a 1 terabyte NVMe drive so that we'll have plenty of room for all our games for testing. Crucial P3 NVMe PCI Express 3.0 up to 3500 megabits per second, 1 terabyte drive. And this only costs like 40 some dollars, so it comes with a screw as well, in case your motherboard didn't come with one. And yeah, it says Ryzen 5 on here, but apparently the person upgraded their CPUs to a Ryzen 5, and they used the box to repurpose and pack and ship to me. Gave me the Wraith cooler used, but still good, which I'm going to use for this budget build. Without further ado, let's get into this budget build Ryzen 3200G. Come on, let's get into it. Well, everything's hooked up on the test bench. The system's ready to be turned on. Hopefully it'll work. Press the power button and see what happens. We have ignition. Do we have blast off? That's a good step. So far we've got the system posting. Asus Prime sees the chip, Ryzen 3 3200G, 3600 megahertz, 16 gig of memory. Gonna run a setup really quick.
Pam param, pam pam.
Damn ugly for a doll. The kind you'd stick with pins to hurt someone. candlestick. Stem's broken. Fresh flowers. He expects them to return any minute. Takes hope. Wall's a different color. Something used to hang here. That painting? Right size. The Baron and his wife. Look happy enough. What's this? Gotta wonder who wanted to hide the hole. And what's on the other side. It gets interesting. Piece of wood looks like the stem of that candlestick. No. Fight might have happened. Rest of the candlestick, and wine stains. Somebody smashed a bottle from Toussaint. Yeah, Herveloos. Scent hasn't died. Wonder where it'll lead me.
Pam param, pam pam param, pam param.
Damn, trail breaks off. Could find something else. Spruce wood. Smells of juniper incense. Some sort of folk talisman. Protective. Question is, against what? Won't find much else here.
What?
Well, bring out the gimp.
Think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, guess you'll just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
altar. So, the eternal fires made it to Velen. An altar. So, the eternal fires made it to Velen.
Got their asses whipped like a Novigrad whore.
You surprised? I tried to dance with a witcher.
Red Dead Redemption 2 online. We're going to set the settings to, first we'll start off with 1080 by 720, and we're going to reduce the texture quality to medium and most of the other settings to low. So we're going to see how this works. Right now we're pulling like 12 gig of RAM. GPU is only, well, the GPU is 1240 megahertz clocked maxed out. So let's see how this runs, shall we? And then this is going to be, you know, windowed kind of. So let's see how we play here. Doesn't look bad, but you know, it's nighttime. Pulling 30 frames per second average. A little laggy. What the heck was that? Anyways.
Ah, newcomer. Don't worry, you'll be a regular in no time.
So we knocked the FPS down probably like 10 to 12. It still looks good at 1080p, but you know, it's gonna be difficult to play if you get in a firefight probably, but I mean, I think it looks a lot better at this resolution, but we're pulling 12 gig of RAM, so who knows. Alright, we're back in free roam for Red Dead Redemption 2, and I increased the memory to 32 gig, and I am not seeing any difference in frame rates whatsoever. I mean, it runs good at 1920 by 1080. It looks good, but it's just yeah, it gives your system a little bit more overhead, but you just can't really use anything above that.
In my sights. Taking cover.
What's it kill?
Our forces have seized the enemy flag.
Reloading.
Spike down B.
Grenade! Enemy spotted B. Enemy spotted B. Reloading.
Enemy
Spotted
remaining.
A. Reloading.
Last player standing. Clutch.
Make sure.
So, in closing thoughts, the 3200G, well, you know what? It performed pretty good. It only has 4 CPU cores and it doesn't have any extra threads, but that didn't seem to hold it back too much in the games that I tried. Now, if you're willing to keep your expectations lower, like 720p, maybe even some games at 1080p, with some of the eye candy set to low, or maybe medium in the 720p, you can get pretty respectable frame rates, and some of the games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt are even playable. Now that's not to say that you're going to be able to go out and play Starfield, or you're going to be able to play Cyberpunk, because you probably just aren't going to be able to do that with anything resembling a decent looking game. But with the platform that I showcased in this video, the 520 motherboard by Asus, with a few minor upgrades, you can just plop in a 5900X 12 core and you should have a decent basis to play some of the newer titles. Of course, you're going to have to save up and put in a dedicated graphics card, but at least with the 3200G, it kind of blew away my expectations. I thought it would be a lot worse than it was, but it's not. It actually does well. So if you can pick one up for like 40, 45, 50 bucks, like I did, get a solid foundation for your build, like this 520M motherboard, or maybe even a 550, then you can upgrade later as you get a little bit more money, and you can resell that chip or repurpose it. So I'm quite surprised with the performance of this chip, and I do recommend it as long as you can get it for cheap used with the cooler. So thanks for coming along and watching this budget build unfold and testing out a few games. Thanks again for watching Remember This Tech.